y'all. It's your Master Lee.
And Lulu.
All right, y'all. And we've been upgrading our audio-visual system here at home in leaps and bounds from what we had before. Started off with a sound bar that had a subwoofer, that had a 4-inch subwoofer, to one that had a 6-inch one, to one that had a 10-inch one, to then ultimately setting on the 12-inch version, which is pretty big. And I want to share with you like why we decided to make these upgrades. Because I think a lot of people are really uncertain whether or not the sound difference is worthwhile, whether or not it's worth doing what we did, which was honestly a very laborious process. And share our learnings with you because I'll tell you, the end result is, bottom line, the 12-inch, game changer.
Fantastic.
Freaking tastic. In fact, we got 2 of them. That's how fantastic. That's
We're
how
greedy.
crazy we want. We're greedy for the bass, people. All right, so for the longest time, this video is really about like why we decided to upgrade from a Polk subwoofer to a Klipsch subwoofer. But before we did that, we actually had a Vizio soundbar with a subwoofer that was about 4 inches. And for the longest time, it was perfectly fine. If you watch TV, predominantly TV, it's a great system for. And that's what those soundbar systems are designed for. But, you know, with the pandemic here, and we're now watching a lot more movies online, we miss that full theater-like experience. And that's when we decided to upgrade to a full-blown audiovisual system with a receiver and dedicated subwoofer.
That's right.
Big difference, yo. So that upgrade took us to the Polk 10-inch subwoofer. The one we got was the PSW10, which is I guess you call it a low-end to mid-range subwoofer for Polk. But I figure at 10 inches, honestly, really what you're looking for is just the fullness of the bass, right? Is it powerful enough to give that shake to the chair when you're watching a movie? And
maybe to the bone.
Okay, to the bone. She wants the
I want to the bone.
to pierce into your body.
Just to have that kind of receiver.
There was an idea.
And I'll tell you, when we first got the system, and we got the entire Polk speaker system, I couldn't pass it up, right? Because everything was on sale for the holidays. And so this particular one that we got it for like about $135. It was that cheap. And so I said, let's do it, right? At 100 watts, seriously, I mean, this thing will pound the paint off your walls. And sure enough, when we, turn it on for the first time, we compared it with our soundbar initially with our 4-inch subwoofer. And to this, we were crying.
Oh, yeah.
Not even joking. It was just, oh my God, finally. It felt like,
we get to experience it.
It was, yes. It
we
was
get to
like
experience it at home, at my
It's like
home.
a reawakening. It's like a second coming. You know what it felt like? It felt like almost like you've been like colorblind.
And now you can see.
You can see color, and it's like people who put on those glasses. You can see like, oh my God, and you can see the motion. And I'm like,
Wow.
I didn't know that this world was so beautiful. It felt that way with sound.
Wow.
Really was on that level.
Yeah, I have to agree. Yes.
There was an idea.
So good. So totally worth $135 for the 10-inch subwoofer.
Mm-hmm.
But about a week later, as I've been tweaking the system, trying to get the most out of it, I noticed something was still missing.
Not right. Yeah.
Even though our chair was shaking, it misses that, I don't know, that nuance of the bass that you feel in movie theaters. Like everything just pounds as if like someone's behind you shaking you, but it doesn't actually capture the effect of what was making that pound happen. So I was debating.
Yeah.
Because
the cost.
It's cost more, and I was looking for value. I'm a big believer in value, and the Polk PSW10 is great value, probably the best value that's out there. But then I thought, all right, if we were to upgrade to 12-inch, because that's really how you're going to get that deeper bass. You can't just buy. So I actually thought, well, there's 2 ways to upgrade to try to get the bass we wanted. Either we said, let's get 2 subwoofers, because we have a 7.2 surround sound system. That 0.2 means that it supports 2 subwoofers. We can get 2-inch, or we upgrade to 1 12-inch, or we go crazy and we get
2
2
12
12-inch.
inches.
And I'm like, oh, 2 12-inches sounds like too much. So I was really considering 1 12-inch versus 2 10-inches. And did some research, and the clear indication seems to that one bigger subwoofer is always going to be better than 2 smaller ones. And I think it just has to do with the fact that the bass is deeper and fuller because there's more air being pushed through 12 inches, right? So it may feel louder. You may be able to get the fuller sense around you in terms of like spatial sense from the subwoofer with 10 inches, but you're never going to get the range of that ultra low and the ultra highs of the deep bass that you're going to get from the 12 inch. So I said, okay, we're doing the 12 inch. So this is where it got really challenging because I thought, I'll keep it the same brand, Polk. And I realized the next Polk up, a sound system, was almost $500, like a $450 upgrade.
Wow.
That's
Just
a big
for
jump
one, huh?
for one subwoofer because I want to keep everything under $1,000 for this value-based audiovisual system.
Right.
You might be able to find one on sale or two, but it's really hard for Polk subwoofers. And they have other ones that are even higher price than that. And that like the 450 was like the mid-range to low budget.
What?
Lo and behold, Klipsch, another competitor on the scene, which is very well known. Many people would argue that is actually the better brand. The quality is better. The sound is sharper. They had a 12-inch on sale, kind of like their older model, but honestly, older models and speakers doesn't even really matter. They all sound great, right? It's incremental updates in terms of the newer versions. It was only $50 more at about 180 some bucks online.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's too good of a price. You're
Right.
telling me I can upgrade to a 12-inch for 180 bucks versus spending almost $500?
Right.
I'm like, all right, it's time to mix and match. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do the upgrade. Add it to my shopping cart. I were ready to buy. And I thought, wait, well, you know what? At 180 bucks, that is such a good deal. Maybe I will get two of them. When am I ever going to get a Klipsch subwoofer brand new
for 180.
for 180?
Yeah. So you did.
I did it. And I can tell you, we got this baby in the mail. They shipped it to you. And the box is a lot bigger. It's a lot heavier. Like I can carry the Polk's 10-inch subwoofer, which is about 40 pounds. I could not lift that box for the Klipsch on my own. Like I really need additional help because it's that much heavier, which means that the sound is going to be that much fuller. Unbox this baby, put it up there, and we did a sound comparison.
Yeah.
You could tell the difference.
Oh, yes.
It was a
It's definitely worth it.
noticeable difference.
Yep.
So going from 4-inch to 10-inch will make you cry. Going from 10-inch to 12-inch is, for us at least, the experience that we wanted, that we got in the theater.
Yes.
That Dolby Cinema, the Atmos one where there's a sound around your seat shakes.
There was an idea.
Like that experience.
Absolutely.
It really feels like, yeah.
We were satisfied.
Yeah,
we were
it's a
like,
theater level
that's
experience.
what we're looking
That's
for.
what was missing this whole time
Yep.
in our life. And look, it was worth the extra $100, $200 for the second one because the truth is we're still in a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's still pretty scary to go movies. I think we might even cut back on the amount that we go to this upcoming year. And so I thought it was worth the extra. And if anything, I'm like, if I don't really use both of them, like if it is too much or the windows break because it just shook loose, you could sell them. Like literally the used versions of these things sell for about the same price that we got it for. So that's why we upgraded from Polk to Klipsch and why we upgraded from one subwoofer to two. Would I recommend everyone else to do this? I don't know about two. Two is a lot. You need a pretty
Extreme.
big size room. When I mean by big, like you have a room that's bigger than 12 by 12, right? Because our room, it fills it up very well. You don't need a crank. It's never going to strain, but it is a lot. So like if you can't find a Klipsch speaker for under 200, don't go for that, right? Like,
Right.
But I would say go for the 12-inch. Just skip the 10-inch, skip the 8-inch. Go for the biggest one. You're going to get the most auditory bang for your buck with a bigger subwoofer. Guarantee
Yes.
it. You will notice a difference. You will appreciate it, especially if you
Yes.
love watching movies.
Yes. Oh, the best.
Seriously, big difference. She's happy now. She just wants to cuddle all day
Yes, which John's not.
while my eyeballs
fan
and
of.
teeth shake loose from all the bass. I literally have to turn it down
Yeah.
a notch because it's just too much. In fact, I would say volume-wise, with just one 12-inch speaker subwoofer, it's about 1/3 the volume on that thing.
Right.
You turn it up to like all the way,
Yeah.
it's your teeth do
Towering.
shake. Your teeth really do shake. It's too much. But the fact that it supports,
But
it
it's
at
good.
distorting,
It's really
quite
good.
impressive.
Yeah.
So there you go, my recommendation.
Worth upgrade.
Definitely worth upgrading for a 12-inch. And if you got the room size, and if you like body soul shaking effect, go for 2.
Go for 2.
If it's worth it. If it's a good deal, money wise, go for it.